Standing Stone Games just unveiled all of the details surrounding Return to Shadow. Shoot, that's not the name of it. Standing Stone Games just unveiled all the details surrounding Before the Shadow, the new mini expansion coming out in November, we've now learned, and it looks awesome. I want to talk through all the details around the expansion, what it's going to bring to you as the player, but I also want to talk about why I think that Standing Stone not only nailed this thing with all the details and all the things that they revealed, but they've also got a bright future ahead for Lord of the Rings Online, and I genuinely think that Lord of the Rings Online is in for some of its best days that it's ever had as a video game going forward. My name is Brightlife, this is my fancy shirt, I look kind of like a Christmas card, and now it's I am a giggly little baby this morning. My name is Brightlife, this is my fancy shirt, I look like a Christmas card, and let's jump into this new expansion. Alright, so Before the Shadow is set to unleash upon the world of MMOs on November 9th, 2022, which is an awesome piece of timing that I'm going to talk about in just a little while, but here's what Standing Stone claims the expansion is going to be all about. We are set to reveal the mysteries of the One Ring as we venture through the reedy fens of Swanfleet and the moors of Cardolan. Journey alongside Boromir to Rivendell and run afoul of the Witch King and Nazgul in their pursuit of Baggins and their peaceful land of the Shire as shadow begins to pour forth from the land of Mordor. There are going to be 2 new zones in this space from levels 1 to 32, so really a new and returning player focused experience, which I think is great. We're going to be in Cardolan and Swanfleet. These zones look interesting. The footage around these zones is exciting. I'm personally more of a fan of Cardolan because I love the Barrow Downs and the Old Forest and how it comes into that space, and it's going to be a little bit more creepy. Angmar is the best zone in the game for sure because it's pretty creepy, so I'm really excited for this zone, but which zone are you most excited about? There's also going to be a brand new starter instance, which I think is going to be great. You know those instances before you get to Archit or Shire or, Arid... Sorry, something gross got caught in my throat. The other starting zone. All of those instances in the beginning where you're walking with Bounder Boffin as a hobbit killing spiders. Well, there's going to be a brand new one of those for new and returning players to go through. And I'm really excited for this, and I have hopes for this, that this is going to be able to teach people the systems of LOTRO in a little bit more of a coherent and single-tracked way, like in a 2022 way that makes sense for a new and returning player to really get a good feel for what the game is like. Now, of course, I like to compare this new starter zone instance kind of to the Exile's Reach that World of Warcraft has, which teaches you all of the systems of World of Warcraft, runs you through a dungeon, teaches you combat, all the ways that things work, and it's in a little 1 to 10 experience that's really helpful and helps you understand the game. I hope that this is like that, but the reason I think this might just be that way is because players actually get the chance to choose their path at login, which is something I was very hopeful for, and they delivered on it. Now, the story is that we're going to be walking alongside Boromir as we fight some Uruks. Uruks are awesome, by the way, in this game. They have such great character models, animations, sounds, all that stuff. I'm really excited, but the story kind of overview says this. We're going to help Mossword recover from gruesome Uruk attacks, defeat orcs and Karis Gelebrin, and reclaim the Hall of the Swift River. Reunite with Boromir, Captain of Gondor, make your way to the Shire, and discover the meaning behind the Grey Fear. And again, Standing Stone always does a great job with these stories. I mean, ever since I've started playing, I've said the best way to experience LOTRO is just to read the quest text and just enjoy the journey. And I think that this is a really good thing as well for the leveling experience of this story, because it's going to drop you off in Rivendell, which is, in my opinion, where the game really gets good. And I think Standing Stone knows that. I think that the journey up to Rivendell is good, especially the first time, maybe the second time. But going through the Lone Lands, going through some of those zones like that, not always the best experience the 3rd or 4th or 5th time through, as many people have experienced. And so I'm excited that they're going to drop you off in Rivendell, which is my opinion is where you get to start going to some of the best zones after that initial Rivendell launch spot. So I'm really, really excited about that. Well done, Standing Stone Games. All right, and the third new system that's being introduced is the delving system, and this is exciting for end game players. Now, I love that they're adding some end game elements, and I think that the delving system, for those of you that aren't familiar with systems like this in other MMOs, is going to surprise you by how fun it actually makes the game, okay? So the delving system is essentially you're going to be able to take a keystone, and in the missions that you can do, those little short missions that you can do solo, you'll be able to put a keystone with a number assigned to it, +1, +5, +8, whatever. And that keystone, once you insert it into the pedestal there at the beginning of your mission, will enhance both the difficulty and the loot of the mission. So actually, it's going to give you up to tier 3 raid gear as a solo player, which is awesome and a great innovation, by the way. I don't know of a lot of other games where you can get that good of loot in comparison to all the loot tables from solo content only. That's really, really cool. Way to go, Standing Stone. But of course, for those of you that aren't familiar, this does harken back to the Mythic Plus system in World of Warcraft, where very similarly you take a keystone and you put it into a pedestal of a dungeon, and then you're able to run that dungeon at higher difficulty for higher rewards. No, but there are also, just for those that are familiar with the Mythic Plus system, you know that that's led to some toxicity and frustration within the WoW community because of the timer. It's a timed thing where you have to complete it in a time limit in order to advance your keystone to the next level, and also the RNG of the drops. It can be really frustrating to do this Mythic Plus run, and it's really hard, and you get to the end and you don't get the loot that you want. Well, Standing Stone is actually taking this system and solving those things in 3 new ways. The first way that they're going to solve the Mythic Plus problem is there's not a timer involved. You don't have to do it in a certain amount of time. You just have to beat the mission. You have to beat it without dying, which I think is a really cool thing. It kind of has this real challenge to it, and then if you beat it, you get great loot. If you don't, then you go turn in your stone at a vendor, you get it again, you can try it again. There's not going to be a lot of toxicity that's formed into the community because of this. Now, the second thing that's really interesting is in World of Warcraft, when you start a new season or start a new week, you get a, level 1 keystone, which is essentially the easiest one. And then the only way to advance that keystone is to beat it within the time limit. And that's the only way to move up the keys, as they call it. Well, Standing Stone is actually going to give you the ability, if you're an already really well-geared character, to go in with your keystone, turn it into a vendor and say, I have a level 1, I want a level 8 or a level 10. That's an awesome thing. I think that that's going to be a huge time saver for endgame players that are really just looking to grind the hardest content on day 1. Awesome job, Standing Stone. And then the last thing is really cool is you're going to be getting a currency every time you run these missions that have the delving system included, and there's going to be a new vendor that actually just sells the gear that you want. So eventually you'll just be able to buy the gear that you want, fit into that slot set wherever you need it. Huge thumbs up. And I think this is an awesome thing in general when MMOs do this, is that when they take an idea from another MMO and then just improve it, put it into their own game, hopefully that inspires other games to improve upon their system, and it just gets better for us as players and honestly as game developers as well. So hey, seriously, well done, Standing Stone. This is awesome. Now let's move into where I think this is actually such a win, not just with the features, but with so many other elements of this thing. This is like a huge strategic win for Standing Stone, so huge thumbs up to you guys. And let's start with the pricing. Now, when you first go to the website on mobile, you'll scroll past and you'll see $100, and you're like, what in the world? But that's the ultimate fan bundle. That comes with an awesome looking cosmetic that I really, really want. Standing Stone, if you want to just like give this to me, you could. I don't know. I would totally give it away to my chat. I wouldn't keep it for myself. There's no way I would keep a code for the ultimate fan bundle for myself. No. I wouldn't possibly think of doing that. But you get this awesome cosmetic, you get a lot of other cool bundled items, and you get to show your support to the game because they're not like a multi-billion-dollar company. They're a smaller company that's putting together this great game for us, and it's a cool way to show appreciation if you want to. There's also a collector's edition which has, I would say, a B+ level, transmog cosmetic, but still really good. And then the base price of the game, which I think is aggressive and awesome, is $19.99, and you get a 10% discount on all of those if you're a VIP paying member right now. This is so good. You can't expect them to create a new mini expansion like this with all of these systems and drop it completely for free. That wouldn't be realistic. And so I was worried that they would price it too high for returning players to actually be able to jump into the game. Well, the good news is $19, that's pretty doable for most people. And if you're a VIP going down to like $16, $17, that's like right in the money spot. And the reason I think this is such a good price point is we have to ask, who is this game for? Who is the mini expansion really for? There's some cool VIP elements in it, but the mini expansion is really for returning players. People that are coming off of the Rings of Power hype and the Tolkien hype and the other shows that are being created and rumored video games. People are looking for a way to experience Middle-earth today, and LOTRO offers them that best experience. The returning players are going to be able to come into this game, have a brand new level 1 to 32 experience, a brand new starting instance, get to walk alongside Boromir, immediately fight Uruks and Orcs as opposed to just, Negerbreakers and all of those little things, spiders and stuff. You get to really experience a cool game right away, and it's only $19 to do. And I think that when you tell a returning player, hey, come into the game, you can have a free experience, or you can pay $19 where all the returning veteran players are playing and people are really enjoying the zone, it's a really, really good thing. So honestly, great job on the pricing, Standing Stone. The second thing that's a huge win that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about is the release date is November 9th. This is going to be coming only a few weeks after the end of Rings of Power. Now, initially, I was disappointed that this wasn't coming out at the beginning of Rings of Power, but as my Twitch chat really helpfully pointed out to me, and as I've been talking to some other people, the amount of hate that Rings of Power has been getting, some people say justifiably, but the amount of hate that it's been getting, it probably wouldn't have been good to associate with that. But what they are going to be able to associate with is the kind of void that's left at the end of Rings of Power for people that really liked the show. It's this void that's left of going, oh, I really wanted more. Well, now you can come in with Lord of the Rings Online and experience Middle-earth while you wait for the next season. And regardless of whether or not you like the show or think it's a success or a failure, that's a good thing for the game that you and I love. And I think that's amazing. Now, I said at the beginning of the video that I think that the best days are ahead for Standing Stone based on this expansion's release. The reason I think this is because that levels 1 to 32 experience in MMORPGs is so extraordinarily pivotal for player retention. You have to get them into the game enough to where they know their character, they enjoy the story, they get the systems, and that's when they will stay. Standing Stone has now solved that issue, and they've also added some stuff for endgame, which is great, but they've really solved the issue of the 1 to 32 experience getting bland and boring for people that are returning like me and like you. I don't know if your story is like mine, but I showed up at the 15th anniversary and really enjoyed the game and got back into it. But before that, I had come back a couple of times, and by level 8 or 9, I was just like, I've just done this before and I'm just kind of bored. And this time, what really helped me carry through was the 15th anniversary brought a lot of people and there was a lot of excitement around it, but there was still kind of that bland part of the leveling experience there in that range. I'm really excited that they're adding a new leveling experience. I think it's awesome. Hats off to Standing Stone Games. You nailed it so far, and I think there are a couple things that they can do to make it even better, but really, so far, hats off to Standing Stone Games. You nailed it. I mean, what's been so cool as a player of this game is over the last 6 to 8 weeks, they've been doing a great job. They've been fixing lag. They've been talking about it constantly. The constant developer Q&As over on their Twitch stream has been fantastic. It's just been really, really good. I have just noticed great things happening in this space, and so seriously, hats off. Well done to Standing Stone Games. You guys have nailed it so far. So I'm putting them, if I had to give them a grade out of 100, I'm putting it like a 96 or a 97%. And my last 3% that would really push this to be like the best thing that's ever happened for them would be in the marketing. I think the marketing is extraordinarily important, and I think that right now they're relying on Twitter and their followers and stuff like that, and I know that they'll probably put some Twitter ads out there and stuff, but what I would recommend to Standing Stone Games, and this is going to sound very self-serving, I don't mean it to at all, is I would really recommend moving into that Twitch Drops arena, or if you can't do that technologically, moving into some giveaways arenas so that people will come watch these big streamers that stream this game, like Green Eye Gamer, like Louie, like Andang, like Bloodborne, people that do this game really, really well and are really great at what they do. I think that being able to give away a couple of copies of this game or doing Twitch drops, if that's possible technologically, would absolutely put this over the top, because I think the hype around the release is going to be huge already. If you made it even bigger by empowering your creators, I think it's going to be next level. And even if they don't do that, I still think this is going to be a great thing for the game. And so I'm excited. I don't know if you are as excited as I am, but I'm stoked. I'm pumped up today because I think that this release is showing me that my favorite MMO is going to be getting some real love and hopefully bringing back a lot of people to the game. But hey, I want to hear what you think. Do you think that I'm over the top? Am I like way too excited about this? Am I not excited enough? What did I miss? What did I say wrong? What did I say right? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hey, if you liked the video, please like this video. If you love the video, hit that subscribe button, really helps the channel out. And I want to say a massive, huge, incredible thank you to our patrons who helped this channel actually survive and thrive. If you'd like to go get videos like this early, you can support from as low as $3 a month. But friends, the last two things that I say, the most important thing that I could say on any video ever, and it's these two things: you are more loved than you know, and you are so much more valuable than you realize. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I want to let you know a couple ways to connect with me. First of all, we got an awesome Discord in the description. We've got a Patreon if you'd like to give to the channel and help support more video creation. And I am live on Twitch quite often over at twitch.tv/brightlifecommunity. Would love to see you there. Always love interacting on those live video streams. But I hope you have an incredible day, my loved and valued friend. Have an awesome one.